I don't know, after hearing him calm and talking about the tether story, it's probable.
Please go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
Probation. What's going on? This is Colin. How's everyone doing? Happy Thursday. Hope everyone's good. Hope everyone had a good day. Yeah. Got some good court clips for you. But before we get into the court clips, I did want to explain something. I've gotten a few questions lately of how people can super chat or become members. And I know I've explained this before, but since I have been growing, some people may not have heard. I was demonetized. So you can't super chat or become members for the channel. But if you would like to super chat, my link tree is in the description. And that's where you can find Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. And if you leave a comment or a question, I'll read it out to the class. The class, who says that? Is that KCC's thing? Subconsciously taking other people's lines. It happens. It happens. Anyways, Kidders sent me a donation last night after the stream. Thank you so much, Kidders. So if you'd like to hear your name called out, or if you have a question or anything, or just want to donate to a great channel, everything. Link tree's in the description. All right. You guys ready to watch from court? Before I hit the play button, you already know what to do. Like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's watch from court.
State of Michigan versus Monique Cook, 23S00510. Wait, Deputy for the people.
Assistant Public Defender Davy Lee before Ms. Cook. Ms. Cook, could you state your name?
Monique Cook.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
We're here for a pre-trial today.
Yes, Your Honor, we have a resolution in this matter where Ms. Cook will plead guilty as charged in exchange for an agreement to 18 months probation with a deferred sentence.
Thank you. I'm writing it up. It's my understanding that you're going to be pleading guilty to child abuse 4th degree, which is a misdemeanor carrying a maximum penalty of up to 1 year in the Washtenaw County Jail and probation for up to 5 years. You have an agreement, though, that your probation will be for 18 months and the deferred prosecutor's deferred program. Is that a correct statement of the agreement? First of all, Ms. McDuffie, I didn't confirm that with you.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And then, Ms. Cook, is that your understanding of the agreement?
That's my understanding. I just feel 18 months is kind of steep. My daughter would be grown. And
All right.
I'd be still stuck on probation.
All right. So do you want to accept the offer or no, ma'am? I don't change offers. I don't have the authority to do so.
I guess I'm gonna have to accept it.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. You may lower your hand. In this particular matter, ma'am, I'm going to go over some rights that you have that you're going to be giving up. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You have the right to have a trial by a jury. And if you have any questions about them or if you need to speak with your attorney, please let me know that, okay?
Okay.
You have the right to have a trial by a jury, at which time you can call witnesses to speak for you. You can get an order by the court to require that those witnesses come to court. You have the right to see, hear, and question any and all witnesses that are called against you, and you have the right to be a witness for yourself, or you can choose to remain silent. If you did choose to remain silent, the prosecutor could not comment on that. In addition to that, you have the right to be presumed innocent unless proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand those rights?
Yes.
Do you understand you're going to be giving up each and every one of those rights, ma'am? And you're not going to be having a trial of any sort.
Yeah.
And do you understand that there's no automatic right to appeal this decision? So the decision that you're making, reluctantly or not, in all likelihood is going to stick with you. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And do you also understand that if you were on probation, parole, or bond, which I presume you were not since you're getting the prosecutor's deferred, that you could be in violation of any or all of those?
Yes.
All right. And do you also understand, ma'am, that if you're not a U.S. citizen, you could have immigration consequences? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
All right. Having said all that, ma'am, to the charge of child abuse in the 4th degree, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Has anyone promised you anything else other than what we placed on the record today to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Has anyone threatened you to get you to do this?
No.
Let's turn to the date of offense. On September the 17th of 2023, were you at the vicinity of 1285 Medford Drive in Ypsilanti?
Nope.
You say no?
No.
Okay. All right. We have a
That's not
problem.
my address. So I gotta say no, that's not where I was at.
Your Honor, it's the 6th.
The 6th. Okay, maybe I should get my glasses fixed. 1265 Medford Drive. Were you there, ma'am?
Yes.
Mm. And at that time, did
Your Honor,
you
may,
go ahead?
Your Honor, may I question Ms. Cook as to the factual basis? There was a
Okay.
specific, thank you. Ms. Cook, is it true that at that time there was a door in your house and your daughter was standing behind that door?
I kicked my door in. Yes, I did.
I know this started really slow, but it's about to go down. It's about to go down.
And your daughter was standing behind it at that time?
She was behind it. I mean, she was in her room behind the door.
Thank you.
Is that the same door that you kicked in, ma'am, that she was standing behind?
Yes, ma'am. She called me a bitch. And I'm her mother. I don't play that. So yes, I kicked that door in.
I understand. Okay.
And that's why I feel like that all this, I'm gonna accept it, but I feel like these kids is like out of control now and
Ms.
they
Cook,
know
Ms. Cook, I would advise that we discuss
I
remarks in regard.
I could still speak and say how I feel. I accept the plea. Sorry.
So,
I'm-
1 second, Mr. Lebo. Ms. Cook,
Yes, ma'am.
at the time of the sentence, there's a part that's called allocution. And at that point in time, you'll be able to say whatever it is that you want to say to me about this charge and how you feel about it. Now,
Yes,
I would advise you to listen to your attorney in terms of what maybe you should or should not say, because it's still the sentencing phase. But
Yes.
I understand that you want to speak up about what's going on right now. I get that. So I find that there is a willing and knowing admission to the plea. And it was knowing and willing to make. Are you satisfied, Ms. McDuffie?
Yes.
Defense is likewise satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, ma'am. You're going to get referred for sentencing. And you need to make and keep an appointment with the probation department. They will also talk to you then, and you can talk to them, and they'll write a report to me about what you have to say. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Sentencing in this matter will be on, did you write down the phone number earlier?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is your daughter?
She about to be 17.
Gotcha.
Yeah, she'll be 17 in a month.
Gotcha. All right. Sentencing will be on January 4th, 2024 at 10 o'clock a.m. Ma'am, did you, you said you wrote down the phone number earlier to the probation department? Ms.
He
Cook?
did, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. Call them tomorrow after 9 o'clock, okay? Then they're going to interview you about what happened, like I said, and write a report to me. You have to do that before you come back. It's a condition of your bond, okay?
Okay, so I need to call them tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't call them today because I'll be at work tomorrow or day. I drive for the smart bus. So they got me on probation until they figure out what I got with this case going on.
Can I see counsel in chambers?
I got a lot of slews right now.
I understand. All right. Ma'am, we're gonna have to continue to address this at the time of the sentencing. So we'll see you on January 4th at 10 o'clock. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. On Zoom. Okay.
Thank you. I can hang up now.
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
That was fun, wasn't it? Can't be calling your mom that. I would have kicked the door down too. Doesn't make it right, but I would have done it. And like a couple of people in the chat, you call me that once, you'll know never to call me that again. You can't do that. But the daughter called the cops, apparently. All right, next one. See, I got 2 traffic cases, and then we finish up again with another Judge Washington. I think there's 4 clips in this. This next one is interesting. Traffic court's usually boring, but I got 2 good ones today.
Dory, if you'd raise your hand for me. Swear the testimony in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I swear.
Okay. First of all, did you correct all the equipment violations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
And I would like to add something to that, if I may.
go ahead.
So when this officer pulled me over, I had gotten the truck back from an insurance claim previously. It had been the first day I had received it back, and after not seeing the truck for about 4 months. And the truck was obviously not around. I purchased the truck this way, and the truck was not within regulations or compliance with Washington state law. So as he wrote me that ticket, right 2 days after I purchased that, or I got that, I received the ticket, the infractions for the equipment violations. Due to poor workmanship off the previous claim, my truck basically fell apart while driving, and then it was sent back to the shop for more repairs. So I did not have access to my truck until about 2 weeks ago, in which I had all the parts ready to go, and the truck was compliant with all the infractions.
Okay, good. Talk to me about the following distance issues.
So I was late to work. I had gotten up and I was driving on the highway it was the one day I actually didn't have my dash cam equipped due to the fact that I just received the truck from an insurance claim. I do not believe that I was too close to any vehicles. And getting off to the exit where I needed to get gas, I noticed in my rear view there were no sirens. It was this older pickup truck, right? It was this older F-150. It was a gray F-150. It had dents and dings all over the truck. It looked beat up. And through the glare of the sun, I barely saw flashing red and blue, two little light strips in the windshield. So I pull over. The officer comes to my window, explains that he's with Washington State Patrol, then asked me why I knew I was speeding. And I told him, officer, again, I'm sorry, or what's it called, he's pulling me over. I was like, officer, I'm sorry, I'm not aware why you're pulling me over. I am leaving for the Army in January. And he said right there, I don't want to use profanity, but he said, cut the BS. I don't want to hear what you have to say. I said, do you know? Answer the question. Now hand me your license and registration. I said, yes, sir, officer. I handed my license. I handed my registration. He goes back to his vehicle. About 20, 25 minutes pass, and I look through my rear view, and he's on a cell phone. So I call 911 because it was an unmarked car. He didn't have a duty belt. He didn't have a badge. He just had a hat that said Washington State Patrol. He didn't even give me his name. And so I call 911 and I double check with them. I'm like, hey, am I being pulled over by a real officer? They look, they're like, there's nobody being pulled over or no officers responding to any calls within 50 miles of your location. We're sending a trooper your way right now. And as I see the trooper approaching in my side view, approaching the exit, this guy, the officer Gordon, runs out of his vehicle, runs to my window. And keep in mind, 911 dispatch is still on the phone at this point. He screams at me. He said, who the F do you think you are to call my dispatch and say I'm impersonating a police officer? And the dispatch cuts me off because it's connected to my truck and he hears the officer say, he's like, officer, please watch what you're saying. What's it called? Dispatch asked me to hand the phone to the officer. And I tell the officer, I was like, dispatch, he can hear you. And the officer looks at me like, I don't want to talk to the effing dispatch right now. And dispatch is like, okay, well, I'm going to let you finish this traffic stop. And because right as soon as the State Patrol was approaching, they confirmed he just then called it in that he was pulling me over. They told me to call back if anything happens or if any issues arises. So he gets really upset at this, basically says, I'm nobody to say that. I am in the wrong. And goes back to his vehicle. And now another 20 minutes passes, and he comes to my vehicle with the list of infractions for my truck. And he said I was following a vehicle too closely. And when I asked him what vehicle I was following too closely, he pointed out some random vehicle out of the hundreds of vehicles that were on the highway that he said I was following too closely, including him, when I was never in the same lane as him. I was keeping the first lane until I went to the left lane, and then I went back to the first lane before my exit. That was the only time. And then I ended up calling State Patrol, Washington State Patrol's office, and I gave them the case number. And at first they couldn't find it. Then they said they saw it. They transferred me. They were like, and I was talking to a sergeant, and he said that, oh yeah, you were driving a truck. He wrote you up for all this. And then I was like, yeah, I was driving a truck. And then he was like, wait a minute, this says a Ram 1500. I was like, yeah, it's a pickup truck. He was like, that's weird because the officer that pulled you over isn't a trooper. He's a commercial vehicle officer. It's very uncommon for them to pull over civilian vehicles. And that's what shocked me too, is why he pulled me over in the first place. And then he wrote me up for following a vehicle too closely. And I swear, if I had my dash cam, this would have made this court hearing a lot easier. But it was the day after I got my truck back, so I wasn't able to have my dash cam equipped. But at no point was I following a vehicle too closely. One, because as a child, I got into an accident with a friend, or my family friend was following a vehicle too closely. So that's kind of embedded into my brain, just like a muscle reacting just to not follow a vehicle closely. Like, I'm anxious when it comes to that. I do not want to risk an accident. So I have more than a normal following distance when it comes to that. And then, yeah, that's what I have to say about the ticket, Your Honor.
All right. Do you think he wins? Do you think he gets the ticket dismissed? What do you guys think?
Okay, so what do you think is the appropriate follow distance for your vehicle?
For every 10 miles an hour, I tend to have one car length of distance. So at highway speeds, what's standard, I would say, which is assuming you're going 60 miles an hour, 6 car lengths. But on the highway, I keep about 10 car lengths, unless it is traffic and we're moving under 10 miles an hour, and then that fluctuates. But normally driving on the highway, I try to keep anywhere from 6 to 10 car lengths.
Okay, that's the right answer. However, in your case, it would be 6 truck lengths, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now he says that you were so close he couldn't even see your front license plate.
That's completely not true, Your Honor. I filed a complaint and everyone was shocked because 911 dispatch also had put in their notes how the officer was treating me, how he was using profanity and all of that. So I think it was more of a out of spite thing to come back 20 minutes after the call and write all those tickets because at no point was I in his lane, especially behind him. The only time I was in his lane is when I was switching to the left lane. At that point, I was in front of him. There was no point I was behind his vehicle.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you're asking me to find that he basically is lying under oath, which would get him fired. So I'm having a hard time buying that you were never directly behind him because he says you were directly behind him, and that's what caught his attention. Now, sounds like he was a little upset. My guess is because in his view, you came roaring up behind him and got so close that I'm guessing he had some safety concerns.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, Your Honor. Like the only time I would possibly see that there was a chance that I was behind him was when I was merging onto the highway. But then again, I don't remember at any one point being behind his vehicle because I noted that the vehicle was all this. Because again, I don't lie under oath. I have already been sworn into the military and I'm leaving January. And I'm trying to keep my record as clean as possible. So this kind of like having this just kind of put me in a setback. And again, Your Honor, if I had my dash cam, this would make this court hearing a lot easier. I already swore that everything I'm telling is the truth. And Your Honor, like if he has a dash cam, I wish he could pull it up just to prove it. But at no point was I directly behind him, let alone the close. He said so close that he couldn't read my front license plate is astonishing to me. That means I'd have to be bumper to him, which is absurd to me, which just thinking about it is it's giving me anxiety from that. Like I would never follow a vehicle that closely at any speed.
All right, and well, I mean, you read the statement, so I don't need to repeat it to you. He says that he watched you change lanes without signaling, and his description as an aggressive driver, and that you were following other vehicles as well, well within the much less than the appropriate follow distance. All right. I clearly have two different versions, your version, his version.
Yes, sir.
Frankly, my view on this is that we as drivers we're probably the worst observers of our driving pattern.
100%.
Somebody who's watching us is going to have a much more accurate description of our driving than we are of our own. So I'm going to go with his version. I'll find committed on the follow too close, and that's $145. So just make sure you contact the court in the next 30 days to make arrangements to pay that.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Baldori.
You have a great day.
Well, he didn't get away with it. He just talked way too much. But what I found interesting was he thought the officer was a fake officer. That's what he did. You called dispatch if you think that. So I can't fault him on that. But he talked way too much about things that weren't relevant and just took forever. That hearing should have been about 30 seconds. All right. Next clip is the one from the thumbnail. As Judge Stevens would say, get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola. Because it's about to go down. Okay, no more comments.
It's Doriana Hudson.
Thank you, Ms. Hudson. One moment.
Mm-hmm. Can a lot of people see me? Can I turn my camera off?
Go ahead, sure.
How do I do that? Stop video?
There you go, yep.
Okay.
All right, Deputy Siller, are you there?
Yep.
Deputy Siller, are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Nope, no, but I'm looking for the deputy, ma'am. Yeah, I know you're there.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh.
There we go. All right. Phillips Lane Township versus Doriana Hudson Owens, case number 23W004262. Citation was for first of this year on Holmes and Peabody in Ypsilanti Township, speeding at 16 to 20 over. Deputy, are you ready to proceed, or is there a proposed resolution at this time?
I have a proposed resolution of 6 to 10 over in place of the 16 to 20.
All right. Ma'am, the deputy's made an offer to you to reduce it down to 6 to 10 over rather than the 16 to 20 to save you a little money and a couple points. Did you want to accept his offer?
I'm trying to I don't understand what all this means. I don't know how much the ticket would be or nothing, but I was trying to like fight it because I was going to say like I felt harassed because I don't understand how am I going over when I have to turn and it's a car in front of me as well.
Okay. So I can explain all of your options to you, so we can go through all of that. You have four options on the table right now. Your first option is to accept the deputy's offer. That would assure you that you got lower points and a lower fine.
Okay.
Your next option is to pay the citation, which of course you don't want to do. Your next option beyond that is to admit responsibility with an explanation. Excuse me. The court would take your explanation into consideration. That would allow the court to consider reducing the fine, but the court can't do anything about points. That's a function of the Secretary of State.
Wait, I have to put points on my license?
Well, these citations come with points. Yeah, 16 to 20 is going to be, significantly more points than the deputy made an offer
So
to
how
you
do I get the points off?
So let me come back. So the Secretary of State, if you qualify, and I don't have your driving record in front of me, so I don't know if you qualify, but if you qualify for their program, if you've never taken a driver improvement class through Secretary of State before, they would send you a letter indicating you qualify for their program. You just take the class, and then they would take the points off if you qualify.
So basically, I'm gonna have to do something with the ticket. I can't fight it or none of that. It's pointless to fight. I'm gonna have to take his offer or anything, or it's basically fuck me. Sorry for my language.
No, well, I mean the language is not acceptable, and you want to hear me out on this. You do have another option, okay?
Okay.
Your other option is to contest the citation. In other words, deny responsibility. The court would then take sworn testimony both from the deputy and from yourself, and the court would then make a determination as to whether or not you are responsible for the citation. So that's an all or nothing proposition. So the deputy's going to put his testimony on. He's going to indicate that he took a speed reading. You may hear from him that he took the speed reading well distance from where you got pulled over. It may not be exactly where you got pulled over.
Yeah, it wasn't, because literally when he pulled me over, I was in an apartment complex pulling up to home. So that's why I want to fight this the best way I can. I definitely feel harassed because I was just trying to get home, and I just don't understand if I'm speeding that fast. I would have tilted my car, or like that's how I feel. That's why I'm just like, okay.
All right.
Good night, Heather.
So you'd like to deny responsibility for the citation. You do not want to accept his offer.
Yes. And then if I deny, what happens? Like, what do I have to do?
Then the court is going to take testimony both from the deputy right now and from yourself. And the court's going to make a determination based upon a preponderance of the evidence, meaning roughly 51% to either side, as to whether or not you are responsible for the citation. So that's an all or nothing proposition. We're going to either find out that you're responsible for it or you're not responsible for it. If you're found responsible, then you're going to have to pay the entire fine and take the entire amount of the points. If you're found not responsible, of course, then it's over and you don't have anything.
Okay, so what does the points do to my license? Like, I don't even, like, I'm confused. So can I not drive no more?
No. Well, I mean, I don't have your driving record. If you accumulate enough points, you would not be able to drive.
I don't know how many points do I have to accumulate to not be able to drive, and how do I get the points off? Like, that's just rude.
Yeah, you need a lot of points too. So if you have a good driving record, you know that better than I do, because I don't know how many times you've been pulled over. But yes, sir.
She is currently at 0 points.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So none of this is going to.
Yeah, I know I have 0 points, but I don't want no points at all.
You asked me to answer questions. I'm trying to do that for you, but you keep on interrupting.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just confused. Like, this is my first ticket. I don't know how this goes. It's like I said, I don't feel like no one's trying to help me or waive the ticket or anything. Like I said, if I was speeding, I don't understand how, if I have to turn into an apartment complex, and you're just now pulling me in an apartment complex. It's a speed bump, literally right when you come in. So yes, I would like.
I'm gonna ask, you've indicated that nobody's trying to help you. I am doing exactly that, but you keep on interrupting me. You can't hear what I have to say if you keep on interrupting me. So I'm going to try and give you all the possible information.
I'm just trying to understand this.
Yeah,
but you can go ahead.
If you listen, you may come to an understanding. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So you have no points on your driving record right now. If you are found responsible for the citation, you're going to have points on your license.
Okay.
If you accept the offer the deputy gave you, you're going to have fewer points on your license.
So what's fewer points?
So the 6 to 10 is 2 points. 16 to 20, I believe, would be 3 or 4 points. So if you accept the deputy's offer, you're going to have fewer points, and the Secretary of State's going to contact you in all likelihood to let you take their driver responsibility class to have the points removed. The reason points are a big deal on your driver's license are two things. One, like I said, if you accumulate enough points, which I think is 7 or 8 or something like that, well beyond what you'd have here today, they would
Mhm.
they would restrict your ability to drive because you've demonstrated you're not a good candidate for driving. But that's way beyond where you are right now. You don't have to worry about that here. But
Mhm.
the other practical effect that points have in everyday day in and day out life is it would have an effect on your insurance costs as well, because the insurance companies look at your driving record and use points to determine whether or not what your insurance rates are going to be.
Okay.
So having fewer or no points is what most people want to get out of these types of situations.
Okay.
So So like I said, if you ask for a hearing, which you're perfectly entitled to do, and I'm not telling you what to do one way or the other, then that would be an all or nothing proposition. You could either take it's going to be what it is or it's not, one of the two.
Okay.
If you take the deputy's offer, then you have control over the situation. You know exactly what you're getting into. You're gonna have the 2 points and you're gonna have the $130 fine versus the 3 points and the $160 fine. And then, like I said, Secretary of State would send you a letter, let you take your driver responsibility class, and they would take the points back off.
Okay. So if I don't take the offer, then what happens? Like
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go through basically another hearing.
No, we'll do it. We'll do everything here today.
Okay. Well, I kind of do want to fight it because I feel like if I was speeding, I would have been in a car accident. And say I was doing 50 and a 30, yeah, and I was literally passing a church. And then school hours, he said something about school, but school was literally out.
Well, he didn't cite you. He didn't cite you for school zone, so that's not. We don't have to worry about that right now. Okay, so you'd like to deny responsibility and have a hearing. Is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay. Would you both please raise your right hand to be sworn? You do both swear or affirm the testimony you provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, the matter before the court today.
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. You both lower your hands. All right, Ms. Hudson Owens, the deputy's going to testify first, and you'll have an opportunity to respond. I'd ask that both parties refrain from interrupting each other. It's awfully difficult to hear one person, let alone two, on this sort of a platform that we're on today. All
Okay.
right. If there's questions for the other party, please hold those, and I'll indicate when you can ask questions. All right, Deputy Siller, you may proceed with your testimony.
All right. So, Your Honor, this offense occurred on November 1st, 2023 at approximately 1745 hours in the location of Holmes Road and Peabody Street. I'm a certified LiDAR operator and have been employed as a deputy for 2 years with the Washington County Sheriff's Office. I'm a certified radar and LiDAR operator since 2022, and I was using the laser technology ultralight model. I performed the required internal calibration tests, scope alignment tests, fixed and delta distance tests prior to and at the end of my shift. The instrument was working properly and the unit is certified by the manufacturer. On the stated date and time, I was operating the LiDAR on vehicles traveling eastbound on Holmes when I observed a white Chevy Malibu near Holmes Road and Wendell Ave, which appeared to be traveling above the posted speed limit, which is 30 miles an hour. I took a speed measurement and the display indicated 50 miles an hour at 334.8 feet, aiming at the front of the vehicle. The target vehicle was well within the operational field of the LiDAR and when the reading was displayed. There was no interference or signs of distortion that would affect the reading. I initiated a traffic stop on the target vehicle and identified the driver as Doriana Hudson by her driver's license, and she was seated in the driver's seat. And the driver told me that she didn't know why I stopped her, and I issued a citation for speeding of 50 miles an hour in a posted 30-mile zone.
And you were operating a laser device. So were you outside of the vehicle at the time you took the reading, or from your driver's seat, or where were you?
I was in my driver's seat, shooting out of my driver's window.
Okay. And I'm sorry, you were positioned at which location on Holmes Road?
I was in a driveway on Holmes Road across the street from Holmes Elementary. On the side of the road.
Okay. Okay. Ms. Hudson Owens, your turn.
Hi, so yes, it was so I'm driving down Holmes or whatever. Mind you, I live in Oak Ridge. He was at the church.
It's about to go down. I don't know why she's fighting this ticket. But you can already tell she's going to be a fun person to deal with.
right down from Oak Ridge, next door to Oak Ridge, let's just say that. And I just want to say, I don't understand how I'm doing a 50 and a 30. I definitely feel harassed because I'm constantly being pulled over. I understand y'all have to reach y'all quota for the month, but I honestly feel like, no, like it was a whole car in front of me. And I feel like if I was going that fast, mind you, we both have to be doing 30. If I was going that fast, I would have rear-ended them or something. And mind you, I'm also turning. I would have tilted my car. So yes, I definitely feel like it's harassment for one, because y'all have to reach y'all a certain quota for the first of the month or the beginning of the month. So that's how I feel. And that's what I'm gonna take it as. Like was not speeding. I have to come over a whole speed bump. I have to slow down anyway and like 50 miles per hour in a 30, and I have to turn into Oak Ridge where it's a speed bump and I gotta slow down anyway. It just does not make sense to me. I understand sometimes y'all have problems with like y'all guns or I don't know, y'all speedometers or something, but it just doesn't make sense because there were like 2 cars in front of me. Like it was one for sure in front of me. And I'm like, I don't know if you could have clocked them and tried to clock me or anything. That's why I feel harassed at this point. Cause I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to get home. We over the speed bump. You pulled me over when I had to go over the speed bump as well. I do have footage of that, where I was pulled over at and everything, and where my home is located.
Do you know how fast you were going?
I believe it had to been under 30. I was literally getting ready to turn. Like it's a cars in front of me and don't nobody really speed down home. So I'm just confused. Like I just feel, like I said, me personally, I feel harassed and just played with because y'all have to reach y'all certain quota of the month. And that's why I feel like it's a lot bigger things going on.
There's no us all here, but at any rate, Deputy, can you describe the process of LiDAR reading?
Yeah, so to clarify some confusion here, she was further west of Oak Ridge Apartments when I took the LiDAR reading.
When I was in the parking lot. Right.
Hang
In the parking lot.
One person at a time. I'll give you an opportunity.
So
I'm sorry.
West of the parking lot on Holmes Road, coming eastbound. And as she was coming eastbound, I took the LiDAR reading.
And how is LiDAR reading taken? What do you do to take the reading?
So I take the LiDAR gun, use the target or the target aperture, and point it at the front of the vehicle and take the LiDAR reading. And it was clear. There was no other vehicles near hers.
When you take a LiDAR reading, is that?
Wow. Oh, wow. Lying. And
when you take a LiDAR, yep, hang on. When you take a LiDAR reading, there's 2 different devices, a radar and LiDAR. Radar takes a sweep across the entire section of the road. How does LiDAR take its reading?
It is a direct laser point to a specific vehicle.
Okay. You're dropping a dot on a vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hudson-Owens, you had a question?
Yes, I'm confused. How did you do that? And you're in the parking lot, and like I said, it was a car in front of me. So basically you must have clocked me. Like I'm just the wrong car. That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't make sense.
What he's
like I can go get a witness if that's what you need me to do.
They always send in that parking spot at the church.
Right. Y'all always at the parking at the church. Like that's why I'm like I said, trying to meet y'all quota of the day. Y'all gonna pull over anybody. And I'm just so like, come on now. I'm speeding, doing 50 and a 30 with a whole car in front of me, doing the correct speed limit, correct? And then I somehow I'm turning at 50 miles per hour. That's a whole car accident. And I have to go over a speed bump. Yeah, that's gonna flip my car. And I have to go over a speed bump. I have to slow down anyways. And mind you, Your Honor, the church is right by Oak Ridge, right next door. Please tell me how I'm speeding if I'm literally turning into an apartment complex.
But he took your reading much further west than when you turned. You were coming down the road. He took the reading further back.
No, how? And it's a car in front of me. That's what I don't understand. He's saying there's no car in front of me, but it literally was a car in front of me.
At the time you turned in, there may have been a car directly in front of you. At the time you took the reading, the cars were separated enough.
So what you mean to tell me is that he must have got behind me and then gonna clock my vehicle as I'm turning into an apartment complex? Is that what you're saying?
No, he took it from the side of the road where he was stationary outside of his vehicle.
But how can you get an accurate reading if I'm literally not speeding and I'm turning? Like, I'm just confused. It's a whole car in front of me. And mind you, how did you clock me from that far and it's a car in front of me? That's what I'm trying to understand. Like, it's a whole car in front of me and you just clocking both of us at the same time.
Hang on a second. Let the deputy answer your question, ma'am. Deputy Siller.
Yes, so there is where I was running the LiDAR from. I can see traffic going east and west on Holmes Road.
And there was a car in front of me.
Yes.
Mhm.
A ways in front of
Right,
you.
you said, but you just said it wasn't any cars.
Ma'am, if you don't let him finish your question, his answering his question, your
Okay, go
question,
ahead.
you're not getting anywhere.
Yes, there was a car a ways in front of you, but I did not clock that vehicle. I clocked your vehicle as I observed you speeding, which then I clocked you at 50 and a 30.
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right.
I
So,
took the speed reading on Holmes near the
Right.
intersection of Wendell,
Okay.
not as
I
you
get
were
what
turning
you're
into the
saying,
parking lot.
But didn't you just say it wasn't no vehicles? But now
It
you're
said-
saying it was a vehicle.
Okay.
After I kept saying like it, like
Okay.
yeah, you just said it wasn't no cars in front of me when it was like.
You're not making sense. Get your story right. Because I know Holmes Road like the back of my hand.
All right, I can only talk to one person at a time, and the court's saying it's sufficient testimony. The court finds the defendant be responsible for the citation. You have 7 days to appeal my decision. It's a $160 fine. And show cause hearing February 13th. If it's not paid by that date or appealed, you would need to appeal.
I would like to do an appeal.
Contact the clerks the same way you set up the hearing here, and they'll tell you to appeal.
Can I have
Have-
a phone number, please?
Same phone number you called to call the court in the first place.
You don't got his story.
I need a phone number, please, because I don't know how I got that phone.
734 483 1333.
You just lie on the oath like that.
1833. That's what I'm saying.
One,
Said it was
one,
no cars.
1333.
1333.
483 1333.
Okay, but I do want to understand, like, how can you say it wasn't no cars and all of a sudden it was a car? But that's fine. Yeah, I see.
Have a good day. Thank you. Hillside Township's Malik Dar.
April, when I saw you say that, I thought you were spoiling it. So I didn't bring up your message. But I saw it. I'm like, oh no, I think she's seen this and she's spoiling it. No, it's just a really good guess. Good job. All right. It's the last clip. I think it's the last clip. We're going back to Judge Washington. I don't know what was up with her courtroom today and all these moms getting in trouble for stuff with their kids. Let's just say it that. Let's say it that. Keep it that way. If you haven't done it already, please like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. And if you want to donate, link tree's in the description. Please and thank you. All right. Let's go.
We'll have to, it'll be a moment before you can go in because the only other attorney that keeps, well, Mr. Shimke's here. So we can put you in the room with him now and I'll recall the Shimke matter.
Shemke!
All right.
Mm,
Rarely get to see Shemke in Judge Washington's court.
Once I find it. There we go. All right, the court will recall the case of the state of Michigan versus Shira Jordan, case number 23S 00436.
Rachel McDuffie for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Christopher Shemke, appearing on behalf of my client. It's time to consent to the matter being heard via Zoom.
Thank you. All right, Miss Jordan, please state your name again.
Shira Jordan.
Thank you. All right, we're here for sentencing. Have you had an opportunity to review the pre-sentence investigation report with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, it's factually accurate.
Thank you. Ms. McDuffie.
Thank you, Your Honor. I agree with the recommendation. I think my concerns here are, as I mentioned in the breakout room, I absolutely understand that it's frustrating and sometimes overwhelming raising children in general. I don't have that personal knowledge, but I think I was a difficult enough child to raise to know that personally. I get it and I understand that things, tempers can flare, but something about this case is a little bit different in that there's just a level of animosity present, where even in the heat of the moment that might have occurred at the original incident, the follow-up concerns me almost even more than that, where the officers attempted to return the child to the home and Miss Jordan blocked the number, left the house, and didn't, I think made comments that she didn't care where he went. And I'm happy to offer the prosecutor's deferred. This is a first offense. I feel like there's an opportunity here for everybody to try to get on track. I understand that the child involved in this incident also has some concerns and needs to, of course, be compliant with the things that he needs to do as well. But I'm worried about everybody here. And I don't really know what's at the root of it, but it really concerns me to see some of the statements in the report here that just don't match up with the statements that were given in the sentencing interview and in the written statement as well. So with that, I'll leave it to the court.
All right, thank you. Mr. Shimke?
Yes, Your Honor, in reviewing this matter, I'd ask you to consider that my client is gainfully employed, that she has no priors. It was a very difficult situation, and at the time, she did not realize that the nature of her behavior was a crime. And we had a long conversation regarding it. She understands that as a parent, her responsibility is to take care of the child, even if he is being what some people would say unreasonable or uncontrollable. But didn't go to a trial. She accepted responsibility. She understands. She's willing to comply with all the terms and conditions. I saw that there's a recommendation for 18 months probation. I was going to ask for consideration for 12 months for probation, but at the very least, consideration for early termination, I would ask. Judge, as to the jail sentence, Judge, I'd ask that all Washtenaw County Jail be suspended this time. I don't believe that it'd be in the best interest for my client to go into custody regarding this case at this time. There's been no violations on bond, and I have no reason to believe that there'll be any violations with her probationary terms. She's glad to have the deferred sentence, and she's looking forward to learning some new parenting skills and moving in the right direction and hopefully never being in this situation again. She's been contrite and sincere through all of my dialogue with her, and I would anticipate if she were to speak today that you'd feel the exact same way by the nature of her conversation. Thank you, Judge.
I don't know. I don't remember if they say it or not. I think they might, but Judge Washington's about to say some stuff. Maybe the defendant speaks first? I don't remember. Let's just go.
Your Honor, I'm so sorry. There was an error. I apologize.
Go ahead.
There was an error. 18 months was the agreement that we had in the offer. And 2, I think on the report, there might be a typo. The max should be 365 and not 93.
And so stipulated, Judge.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And pursuant to that being corrected by the prosecution, I'd ask that all jail be suspended at this time. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I was going to mention that the 18 months was a part of the plea agreement originally. So that is being recommended according to the agreement, and that is what we're going to do. As far as the sentence, ma'am, is there something you would like to say before I sentence you?
Something as far as like what happened with what went on with the situation, or just
You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. This is just if you do have something you'd like to say to the court, you have an opportunity, but you're under no mandate to say anything at all if you wish not to speak.
That's lawyer speak for just say sorry and let the judge talk. She doesn't do that.
Okay, well, I would just want to say that as my attorney stated, we did have a lengthy conversation regarding it. As he mentioned, I did not know, I was not aware that that is an actual crime for me just to leave him at the store, as he, leaves and go everywhere he wants to go and everything else. And I do accept responsibility for what took place now that I have the understanding that that is a crime and just not supposed to do it. So that's all I would like to say at this point.
So, first of all, ma'am, I don't think the crime was charged because you left him at the store. And the fact that you keep saying that is bothersome to me as well as the prosecutor, I'm sure. Because the reality is you didn't just leave him at the store. You left him at the store, and when the officer called you and told you that they needed to bring him to you after they picked him up, you talked to him and told them that you didn't care where he went. And they told you they were bringing him home. You did not go to the home. You left the home, and then you proceeded to block the officer's number so that you couldn't receive the telephone calls. So to say that you simply left him at a store is completely minimizing what happened in this case and why you're charged with child abuse. And when you initially pled to this matter, before I read the police report, I was under the impression that you simply left him at a store myself and was very concerned. But once I read the rest of the report, What you did was ignore an officer's command to come home so that you could take your child, and then you blocked the officer's phone number. So the longer you continue to believe in your mind that that's all you did, the worse the situation is going to get for you. As to the jail recommendation, I'm going to impose sentence at this point. As to the jail recommendation, we had an agreement, is my understanding, to no upfront jail as a part of the plea agreement as well. So there can't be any upfront jail. It is the sentence of this court that you serve 365 days in the Washtenaw County Jail. Credit for the 3 days that you've served. The balance of that, 362 days, are suspended upon timely completion of your probation and if you follow all the conditions of the probation department. You're on probation for 18 months. Fines and court costs in this case for a total of $625. You're to meet with the probation department when and where directed, including any and all home visits. Make earnest efforts to maintain legitimate employment. Complete the parenting classes as they are approved, and the court will consider further whether therapy needs to be a part of your probation. No assaultive or threatening behavior towards him or anyone else. You must submit to, pay, and be responsible for random drug and alcohol tests. None are being ordered at this time. There's no use or possession of any alcohol, marijuana, medical or recreational, illegal drugs, drug paraphernalia, and no being in the presence of anyone using either of those. There's no use or possession of any firearm components, ammunition, or other dangerous weapons. You are granted this sentence under the prosecutor's deferred. So if you do everything you're supposed to do, then you won't have anything on your record. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, like do these parenting classes and if necessary therapy, then you'll be back before me trying to figure out what happens next. We'll do a review in this case in 90 days. I don't know what is going on with you and your son. I understand that he has behavioral issues, but the reality is you have responsibility towards your child. And that responsibility means that you have to do whatever is necessary for you to become as healthy as possible to parent him in the best way possible. This is designed to get you there because right now you're in denial about your part of this. So you need to figure that out or you're not going to be successful on this probation. And you're looking at 365 days in the Washtenaw County Jail. Do you understand that part, ma'am?
Yes, I do, but I have a question. Based on what you were just reading, you said the 3 days that I spent in jail were suspended?
No, I said the balance of your time after that is suspended. So 362 days are suspended.
Okay, so I just, like my thing is I was never arrested. I wasn't even made aware of anything like this until I received a letter in the mail saying that I had to go to arraignment. So that's why I'm saying I didn't have no knowledge of any of this in the beginning.
So you're saying you don't have any jail credit. That's what you're saying?
Correct. I don't want the record to be wrong. I want it to be correct because I don't want, you know what I mean? I don't want later on down the line and they say something else.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Ms. Johnson?
Morning, Your Honor. I'm double checking that to make sure that she doesn't have any jail credit right now, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
It should be 0 days, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, well, this finishes up. There's only about 2 minutes left of this video. And as usual, we're going to redirect to KCC. She's the only one that's live right now that I can see. So we're going to go head over there. But if you haven't done it already, please hit the like and subscribe button. Do your jump kick backflips. And if you'd like to donate, link tree's down in the description. Please and thank you. But yeah, that's all I got. So until tomorrow, or I'll see you guys in KCC. Bye.
So she has a full 365 hanging over her head if she violates.
All right. So 365 days are suspended now. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. You're gonna need to call the probation department and they're gonna go over this probation contract with you so that you understand what your probation is, and they'll help set you up so that you can start working on your parenting classes, okay?
Okay.
All right. Do you have their phone number, ma'am?
Yes, I already met with her back in October as
Okay.
well.
All right, thank you. So call her tomorrow after 9 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
I do wish you the best with this, and I hope we figure out what the root cause of all of this is. I understand your son's behavior is a part of it, but I need for you to see your part in it, okay?
I do.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I'll see you back here.
When do I come back?
I'm gonna give you a review date. I'm gonna do it in 90 days, February 29th, 2024, okay?
Is it at 10 still or?
Yes, ma'am, it's at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
you.